I know I forgot that it was automatically opening up in Safari. So, but you know what? None of us should be using technology. We should be living simpler lives. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. Speaking of simpler lives, I was with Tegan the last 2 days up at Hatzick.
You spent 2 days there.
One night. One night and one day. And that guy lives simply.
Well, you think.
He wants to do less, so he needs to earn less to do less, rather than make more money to do more. Whereas I think I've got 20 years of efficacy left, and so I've got to make as much money as possible before I'm absolutely useless to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, you're
Do you
pretty
think
close.
do you think either is possible? Like, do you think Michael's idea of just lowering your expenses and then not having to work so hard versus my panic about making enough money because I'm going to still be alive at 80, even though no one will want to pay for me?
No, I think if you want to, everyone's circumstance is different, and I think it's all about what you want in life. And I think that your geographic region has a major influence on that. So living in a place like Toronto or Vancouver, one of the most expensive places in the world, they're not getting cheaper. So even if you lower your expenses are still going to go up.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I don't.
Inflation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his theory might work for a while, and maybe he just needs you know, noodles that you can heat up in a soup on the stove that costs 99 cents. That's not for
What
me.
do you need? What do you
I,
need?
I need a major life change, a massive upgrade. Um, I need to eat well when I get older because I do like eating, and I like to drink some fine alcohols, and I want that to be part of my life. So there we
Hey,
go.
how's the sardine? Welcome to the F1 Chat Pod. The F stands for friendship. I'm Jason Bryden,
I'm David Milchard.
aka JB and Milkbags. How's the sardine diet going? Have you
Haven't
started yet?
haven't started yet. Okay, it's gonna happen any day now.
We're at least a month past your start date. How's your willpower these days?
Week. I went to a
Week.
bar by myself because they had a 25-page list of whiskeys, scotches, and bourbons that's just
No
around the
way.
corner from Todd's house. I'm like, this place is incredible. I walked in, I go, what is this place? And the guy goes, this weird owner has all this. He imports whiskeys and bourbons and scotches and whatever from all over the world.
Wow.
And so I sat, he goes, you have to ask for the menu. So I sat down, I looked at the menu, and it's 25 pages.
Holy. Were you getting right in there?
Yeah, I ordered a crisp lager, nice and light, and then I was like, okay, I'll try this one. I just went by the name because I've never heard of it. Just went by the name. And then I had a couple bourbons there. They're about, I don't know, 12, 14, 15 bucks a pop. Nothing crazy. I guess it's 20 bucks Canadian. But wow, bourbon. I mean, it's, because of the Cold War between Canada and the US, we don't have bourbon anymore.
No. Which is fine for patriots such as myself who prefer rye. It's not to say I don't like bourbon, though.
I think I prefer bourbon over rye.
I think a lot of people like you do that. And I get it. But
Speaking of the
so
Canada,
anyway,
speaking of the Canada-US rivalry that we currently have because of elite powers wanting to make lots of money that really has nothing to do with the rest of the world, just these people.
it's just the Orange Emperor.
I
It's no
thought
one else.
today. No. There's other. No. It's not just the Orange Emperor, JP. There's a lot of
He's the
people.
one that started the tariffs.
Yes, but there are other people that are doing their own Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I'll be seeing AC/DC on August 13th. Let's talk about F1 rivalries.
Let's talk about them. And then I want to talk about friendships in F1.
Okay. So we got it. Today's podcast, the F1 Chat Pod, is predominantly going to be about rivalries and friendships. So let's start off with how many times Lewis Hamilton has had major rivalries in his career.
I love it.
It's impressive. Fernando Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're aware of that rivalry.
No, go on.
So Lewis Hamilton's rookie season, he was very good. Fernando Alonso had just won the world championship with Benetton. Comes into McLaren as
Team principal Flavio.
Team principal Ron Dennis at McLaren.
Ron Dennis.
Flavio was the team boss. Was he the team boss at Benetton when they? Yes, I think he was. Yes, he was. Flavio was the team boss at Benetton when Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso is also managed by Flavio, which is goes to McLaren, and Lewis is instantly very competitive. And he was like, "I'm the double world champion. I should be getting all the treatment." Felt like he wasn't getting it. Became
so they're both
intense.
at McLaren.
They're both at McLaren. This is like 2007, and the garages start splitting. It feels like, because it's a British team, it feels like Lewis is getting the, perhaps preferential treatment. They weren't expecting Lewis to be a genius the moment he sat in the car. It was a race-winning car, however.
A lot like Kimi.
Yeah. So he proceeds to basically put Fernando under a lot of pressure. It ignites in Hungary when Fernando Alonso pulls into the pits and Lewis is coming in after and decides to stay in the pits long enough, like an extra 30 seconds, that Lewis, by the time Lewis gets his tires on and comes out of the pits, he can't make it around in time to get the last qualifying lap in. Totally. And after that point, it was an inferno of intense, heated rivalry.
I love that. I want more of that.
Right? It was so, and so then gets even better. Do you remember, is it Stepney Gate? When McLaren got charged $100 million for having Ferrari's car design plans, and that was Fernando Alonso who let the cat out of the bag.
He's the one that blew their secret.
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso, driving with McLaren, let the cat out of the bag that, what's his name? Ron Stepney?
Nigel?
And his Nigel Stepney? Stepney and family, I think his wife, somehow got a hold of, stole, bought the Ferrari. What kind of plans?
It was some design plans for the car, like whatever, aerodynamics. It's actually, if we're going to talk about rivalries, I should probably know, but that's what they did. And because I think Fernando knew, Fernando was like, I'm out of here. So he was going back to Benetton. Right. So he was ready to, pull the pin, drop the hand grenade in the cockpit of the car while it's in the garage surrounded by other mechanics, and boom, totally blew it up. $100 million fine. $100 million fine.
I think we know who has had, maybe he's mellowed, Fernando has the biggest balls in F1. And no wonder him and Flavio get along.
Yeah, those guys are crazy.
They don't give a shit. They're a couple of pirates.
Well, they were the ones that staged the Singapore Grand Prix and made the Nelson Piquet Jr. crash. So they got the safety car to allow Fernando to win the race. I mean, it's just incredible.
Here, I've got a plan. There's somebody with an accent. Yeah. In what year?
That would have been 2009, maybe, or 2008. I can't remember.
I've got a plan. Let's risk a driver's life. Fake a crash so we can win. So we can win one car race.
Incredible.
Milky, no wonder we're not at the top of the heap.
No, we're not aggressive enough. There's nothing about
It-
us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll lose sleep over something I said the night before after a couple drinky poos. You think Flavio or Fernando or no? They sleep right through a tornado.
It's
They
unreal.
don't care. I want more. I want that.
Formula One does feel a little bland, doesn't it? It feels like, it doesn't like also, I mean, I don't
It's
want,
been corporatized.
yeah, I don't want drivers dying or anything, but
Of course not.
like the the accidents were insane, like
Yeah.
back in the day, like bursting into flames. Like it was just the drama was, and then to carry on with the rivalries, Lewis Hamilton versus Nico Rosberg. Is it Rosberg
And they
or
were
Rosberg?
former friends, Rosberg.
And they were,
they were
they were
friends. They were besties.
Yes.
And they turned into worsties. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
Well, they were teamed up at Mercedes. Nico was there before Lewis. Good old Nicky Lauda was like, we got to get Lewis over here, convince him to make the right move at the right time. They had 1 year, I think it was just 1 year where it was a little bit, the car was okay, it wasn't fantastic. But then it was good. And Lewis won the first 2 world championships for Mercedes. And then finally Nico won in the third round of those guys, because that car was so good. It was basically them all the time. So they were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Nico finally, and this is why I like Nico, he was like, well, I have to come up with another way to win this world championship. And he had to disrupt Lewis by being, a little bit more expanding the rules of the game, so to speak, like in Monaco when he supposedly missed the breaking point when Lewis was behind him, and Lewis would then have to use the brake pedal or ease off the gas because it was a yellow flag, and then he couldn't have the fastest flying lap, but even though he was behind Nico and could have taken the pole.
So what do you mean missed the breaking point?
Well,
Rosberg
he just
purposefully slowed Lewis down.
He purposely had an accident where he missed the breaking point and slid into a zone where he had to reverse the car out, which forces a yellow flag in that zone. So Lewis couldn't fly around the corner at full speed.
Oh, I see. He forced a safety car without crashing his own car.
Yeah, it's a little thing. It's what Michael Schumacher did years ago in a Ferrari. He did the same thing.
Not surprising.
No, Michael Schumacher was another one of those guys that like
we need more Schumacher.
Schumacher Damon Hill rivalry, intense. Those guys, Michael Schumacher would do anything to win the race, just anything. The best was there's a race you should watch, and you probably won't watch it, but it's the Japan Grand Prix 1994, and the race had to stop because the weather was so bad. So then what happened was the race turned into a timed race. So it wasn't where you were on the track. It was how fast you got the race done.
So it turned into qualifying.
Yeah, except like lap after lap after lap, right? So basically,
and they were all racing together or separately?
Yeah, no,
like
they were all on
trial.
no. So basically, the race stopped, and then they got back on, and the race was going. And then what happened was basically, if you were 5 seconds ahead of a driver, your second, you were 5 seconds. They were like, okay, you're 5 seconds ahead. Everyone go. We're racing now, and they're all over the track. And then it was all about how fast you could do laps for the last 20 laps or whatever. So no one knew, like Damon Hill's like, well, I have to, they were like communicating with him, but the communication wasn't great. So Damon Hill had to race, but not knowing, couldn't see Schumacher, right? But he knew he had to race as fast as he could. That's all they knew. It was kind of a really cool way to race. They didn't know. Like, I didn't know how much faster I was on that lap than Michael. They tried to communicate it. So it was a really cool. I remember watching that race going, this is insane. And then he managed in this crazy inclement weather to beat Schumacher, who was the weather master, the rain master. No one was better than him. And Damon Hill managed to do the race faster to set up the final race in Adelaide, one of the best Formula One street race tracks we don't go to anymore, and pressured Schumacher the whole race. Schumacher makes a mistake, goes off, hits the wall, damages his suspension, knows his race is over. Damon Hill's just a couple corners behind because you like this, he couldn't see, but he saw that Schumacher was coming off weird. So he went down the pass. Schumacher just goes, bang, takes Damon Hill out of the track, out of the race, and wins the world championship after driving, using his car like Max Verstappen sometimes does.
Did in Spain 2024-5 against George.
What an epic again, and Damon Hill was like in terms of how he came into Formula One and where he got to. He was a nice guy. He was a gentleman.
Yeah,
and
he was a Lando. Was he a Lando?
Yeah. So he would say like he was articulate, but some people didn't like him because he would be like, well, no, what he's doing that's not cool. Like, he'd call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
And then, everyone loved Michael Schumacher because Michael Schumacher, was kind of ruthless. He was like this. And he did change the sport.
So if everyone loved Schumacher and he was ruthless, how come we don't have more of those guys now? Like why not have more Maxes and let Max and unleash Max? All these rules around language, it really moves everything towards the middle, as we've spoken about so many times. The middle of try not to offend anyone, so you end up not saying anything interesting at all. And I'm talking about the commentary.
Yeah. I mean, it's another thing too. Like, why aren't there more commentators that are adversarial, like with each other?
Yeah, Juan Pablo.
That would be interesting to me.
Juan Pablo could just be like, "No, what are you talking about? That's terrible." Jacques Villeneuve, Damon Hill, they could all be way more pointed instead of always being forced to remark about how excited they are.
Yeah.
Was that
they're like margarine?
Great race? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No one called. Like, people need to be more. Like Johnny Herbert, same thing. He got canned.
Did he?
Pissed off Fernando Alonso with a question, and I was like, guys, this is what we want. Why is we want you to ask a direct question and get a driver. I'm not saying you want to agitate drivers, but if you're asking a direct question in relation to what happened, like, hey, it looks like you drove into that guy from our perspective. Can you give us your perspective?
Yeah, it's not slander if it happened. Mm-hmm. It's the whole fragility of power. Max can do something like run another driver off the track, but no one's allowed to talk about it.
Yeah,
you're missing a real opportunity for narrative, and the sport is lesser for it.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to watch Peroni versus Gilles Villeneuve?
No. Did you send me something?
I sent you a link. Yeah, I sent you a YouTube link to watch it. This is a while ago. It's okay.
I'll watch it. It's been really busy and fun on vacation. But I mean, my brother just left. We went up to Hatzick. It's intense. It's intense being in the Michael's sphere of energy. Yeah. You just got to go with it. Tonight, tonight I'm seeing more friends, Rich, Pippa and Rich.
Bumped into Rich and Pippa at the FIFA Fan Festival. That was fun.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Dr. Mark, we're going over to Dr. Mark's house. Mm-hmm. And he was we went to theater school together. He was an actor, and then rightfully so, he went to medical school, and now he's a surgeon with no children. So
Right.
You
Okay,
know,
so
you know
he's
what that means. I mean,
he's
the
miserable.
one. No, I think he's ecstatic.
No, I think he has no one to share his wealth
He
with.
has a
He has
wife.
no.
You don't have anyone to share your wealth with.
I don't have wealth.
Anyways, the wine is great. The food is great at his place. There's art everywhere on the walls. It's just fun. As a breeder, you get to go over to a house and you go, wow, this place isn't a total mess.
Mm,
And they're not living like college students. So,
yeah.
anyways, what I was getting at was friends. It's great to connect with longtime friends, even though I only see them once or twice a year.
Yeah, and that's nice, isn't it? When you have like good friends that you cannot talk to for 8 months and be on the phone like it's nothing,
Like it's nothing.
right? Like it's
Yeah.
nothing changes. Like you were here down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I mean,
on one hand, I talk about how I want more rivalry and more drama in F1, and that I don't like how the FIA wants all the drivers to be friendly. But on the other hand, what do you think about you're competing at the highest level? It's so intense, and you're also friends off the track. How do they navigate that?
well, whenever they ask these questions, or whenever they're asked these questions, right? They usually say, "Well, when we're on the track, we're uh, enemies. The visor's down." I don't know if that's totally true. Like, I don't. I feel like if it's Lando and George going, I think both those guys go, all right, I respect you. Like, I'm not going to do something crazy. That's what I think that's what it's like. Now, if it's, you know, I mean, Max is apparently friends with Lando, but the way he drove with Lando in terms of a rivalry that year, when McLaren got its act together for the first time and Lando started winning some races, the Austrian Grand Prix was insane. Max just drove into Lando like not once but twice in that race. And you're like, this is mind-boggling. I thought they were friends. Like, you think as a friend you wouldn't, you know. He literally drove him off the track. They hit, and then he tried to hit him again after they
Was
came back
that
on the track.
Austria in 2020? What year?
I'm not. I want to say 2024,
Wow,
maybe
I
2025.
didn't know that. I wonder if their friend dynamic is sort of frenemies, whereas one's the dominant and one's the submissive, and Lando it doesn't really care. Like I'm just trying to bring it back to my own experience. I had a friend once, I think you met him a couple times. He shall remain nameless.
Yeah,
But he was
good.
high energy, high maintenance, crazy a little bit
Yeah,
sometimes, but it was fun.
yeah,
It was fun. It was worth it once in a
hmm
while. It was like, what's going to
yeah,
happen tonight? We go out as young men,
yeah,
like something's going to happen. I know it because he always
yeah.
makes things happen. It's not going to be boring.
Right. Well, I think like the Lando, because there's a great interview with Lando. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but it's like the F1 related one. Um, and it was like he was basically he's world champion, and they're talking about it. And then one of the questions, which I thought was a great question, is like, people often say, Lando, you're the nice guy and you're not aggressive. Do you ever think like back on races where you feel like you should have maybe been more cutthroat? And he was like typical Lando. He was kind of suggesting that, well, yeah, I guess I could have been more aggressive there, or I could have maybe been a bit of a, I guess, a dick driver to stop someone over here, but I've still won the world championship,
Yeah.
right? Like, so like it's just a different, like just a different philosophy.
I think
Um,
Lando last year, he really broke the mold in a way because I hadn't
yeah,
seen a driver like him that was so unapologetically him, so self-deprecating, so
mhm,
self-aware and honest, and he never folded to the pressure to be more like what everyone thinks is the race driver ideal.
Yeah, which is great because I think Kimi Antonelli is a little bit like Lando. Because if you watch Kimi Antonelli, when he sort of owns up to his mistakes and maybe whatever. I pushed too hard. I made too many mistakes. Like he kind of owns up to it. So maybe this is going to be good. Maybe we're going to have diversity in terms of personalities. Like maybe it is good that we have Max and a Lando or a Kimi, because I don't know if you notice again, Kimi gets hugs. Kimi hugs everybody.
Yeah.
Like what an interesting
I'd love to hang out with
way
his
to
parents.
Yeah.
But
could you imagine you're an F1 race car driver? Oh, sorry. Could you imagine though if you're an F1 race car driver? I've had 2 coffees, and you like to diffuse. You're always hugging the other competitors.
Yeah. I'm not sure he's been hugging George a lot, has he?
Yeah, I'm not going to look it up. I bet
That
you we could Google
relationship
that.
may have cooled a bit. Maybe, and that's from George to Kimi and not the other way around. Maybe Kimi's reading the room or something.
I don't know. I don't think it's as intense as we think it is, because I think that George maybe is probably looking at the rest of the season like, okay, look, I'm basically boned. I've had bad luck, terrible reliability. There's been some weird algorithm with my engine. I didn't read it, but there's an article saying, should F1 ban algorithmic engine software? Now there's algorithms and engines?
I know. Well, I mean, they have to synthesize data somehow. An algorithm is
but the algorithm,
like pulling data and then learning from it. And they've taken out the middleman, the human middleman. So the algorithm learns from itself, and now it screws up because it's nascent technology. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I just thought like an engine, you make the pistons go as fast as they can go.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah.
Right.
There's
But what does an algorithm have to do with that? I guess it's the battery, recharge, all that.
The algorithm has
Power
to do with
distribution.
the learning. It self-learns according to an algorithm. And who knows, was that a man-made algorithm, or did they also use AI to create the algorithm?
Oh my God.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking philosophy. Like, where's and consciousness? And anyways, this is too much. Without.
Can you imagine if there's just an AI? What if there's going to be an AI F1 team?
Well, there will.
It's all AI.
There will be. Yeah, there will be. Just like there's marathons with robots racing in them now.
What a wild world.
What a crazy
Anyway, to go
world.
back to George and Kimi's rivalry, I don't think it's going to get as intense.
No.
No. And I even think next year, let's just assume, because Kimi has to, fall off the side of a mountain to not win the world championship. So that comes with pressure.
So it's mathematically possible still for Kimi to lose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because we got another dozen races to go.
Yeah. They are. They're planning on. They're probably going to end up finishing in Europe because, I mean, the war in Iran. Mr. Trump is going to continue it to the midterms, so they're going to have to in September make a call, get rid of the final 2 races, put them in Europe, which would be neat. And I think Kimi wins the championship. So that's like 12 races to go. That's lots of points out there still, but he wins the world championship. Next year, those guys also battle. And I don't think the rivalry next year will be too intense with those two because Kimi's won his world championship. And I think Kimi is like a Lando. I think Kimi's like, I won. This is great. I want to win again, but I'm not going to be a dick about it. And I think they'll have a nice, and it'll still be intense from time to time. And I think George, I'm going to put it right now, I think George wins the world championship next year.
That's nice. One for each.
That's a good bet.
Fairsies, squaresies.
Yeah.
So
I think Toto Wolff would want it that way. I want both my drivers who I've made into elite racing athletes to have opportunity to win both world championships. What a great team owner and principal I would be if I'm able to have, look, I have him win. I do it all.
Your accent work is just getting stronger and stronger.
Thank you.
So
I'd like to thank
we need, let's do sponsorships right after this question I have for you. So we want more conflict in racing or more rivalry. Conflict being
Christian Horner has to come back.
Christian Horner has to come back. Conflict being like some kind of rupture, some kind of rubbing against one another. And that comes out in sport. Meanwhile, off the track, Formula One and the FIA want everyone to be friendly. And I guess they've seen that in other leagues. I guess it does work. You know, the clipping for social media of the players with their arms around each other it feels good when they're from shaking hands at the end of the game. Do we need conflict in our personal lives with our friends? Does that help a friendship?
What an interesting question. I suppose having conflict with good friends, depending on what it's regarding, is valuable, because you don't want all your friends to be yes man, woman, or whatever. You know what I mean? You want like if you've done something and they found it offensive or irritating or whatever, then to have the conversation. I think it's good.
Yeah. So you're saying we should have you need repair. You can't just have rupture. You need repair too.
Yeah. You can't like. I mean, let's take Nico and Lewis Hamilton. I guess they still don't talk, right? Their friendship hasn't resolved. But it would be nice, actually, and it would be cool for F1 probably if there was an interview with those guys.
I mean,
like, could you imagine that? Like,
didn't Nico just interview him?
It was
the podium talk. It wasn't a real interview.
Yeah. Like, imagine if F1 TV managed to have like a little one of their 7-minute little specials where Nico and Lewis decide to go for a coffee.
Yeah, that would be so good. Talk about the bad old days.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I think the reality is Lewis has to respect Nico for what he did. He can't not, because Nico was figuring out how to win a world championship, which is his childhood dream,
against an admittedly better driver.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton, probably for all intents and purposes, you'd say, yeah.
Well, that's what better. Nico said.
Yeah. But he wasn't that year because Nico won the world championship. Nico did it.
Yeah.
And that's what's amazing about like, let's take Damon Hill when he finally won his world championship. I mean, if you look at it, you should watch his documentary about the rise of Damon Hill. It's like such a crazy story. Like, he was an old man coming into the sport.
Right. He came from ridiculous.
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And so that in itself, and then to come in and go up against the force that's Michael Schumacher, and also be under that pressure, and Ayrton Senna dies in the car that he's driving in.
Right.
It's just
be Graham Hill's son.
Yeah, like, it's insane, right?
That's an F1 movie I'd like to see.
He was the first driver to win a world championship and win a race that was the son of someone. So there's all that energy around it. Like, now it's not such a big deal, but I think, look, it's Graham Hill's son.
Yeah. I wish Damon Hill and Johnny Herbert did their podcast more regularly.
Me too.
I don't like it when people just stop doing a podcast and they don't give you any information.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably,
who knows?
Maybe they don't have any listeners. Maybe they're like us. They're like, oh, we have no one listening.
I was listening to the high performance racing one, and just a note to us, they had this really cool concept of rating drivers. And I thought, this is going to be interesting with Otmar or Omar, as they're calling him now. And But then they were trying to figure out how to do it on the podcast because they had done no homework.
Yeah, I like these guys.
And it got really boring and
Oh.
disorganized. And I just thought, we should remember this because I do like when we do behind the scenes, like let's figure this out while we're recording. But in this instance, it was like, I'm moving on. I wish they had their ducks in a row before they started.
So did they end up coming up with a formula of how, or did you don't know what the resolution
I don't
was 'cause
know.
you
I
moved on?
listened to one or two drivers and they were still mucking about and I quit.
Right.
But I'm a quitter.
Yeah.
I've been real good at bailing.
Yeah. I mean, when people say, hey, what's, Jason Bryden like to work with? I say, well, he's not a winner.
But I'm not a loser either because I quit.
No, and I say that too.
I quit.
Yeah,
Well, I quit.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
JB will never be a loser. He just quits.
I'll never be a loser.
Can't be.
You won't even see me.
You can't be a loser when you quit.
You can't be a loser when you stay home.
Speaking of, again, going back to rivalries, Lewis and Max was an intense rivalry.
Yeah.
And this is a testament to Lewis. And again, not a huge, I'm a fan of Lewis, but I wasn't a driver that cheered for him all the time, or a fan that cheered for him all the time. Fernando Alonso, Nico Rosberg. Interestingly, him and Jenson Button were teammates for a couple of years.
Who?
And Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton. And I would say not a rivalry, like not intense. And they went back. They both won races. They both got pole positions. They even collided in Montreal once, which I would argue was Lewis's fault.
I just got to get my power thing.
What's that?
My power thing.
What's your a power cord. The right word is power cord. And this is what happens when you age. You just start to forget the labels of what things are in your life. Power cord, my phone, my iPhone, my computer that I carry with me, laptop. Where are where's my eye stuff? My glasses? Yeah. These are the things that happens. When you get older, you forget what things are called.
So how's Santa Monica going? You've been there for a week or so.
Been here for 7 days. Love it.
Love it.
It's been great. And Todd and Kayla's home is beautiful. It's got a great energy. It's got the right feng shui. It's really great.
Is there a pool?
It's awesome. No, there's a hot tub. I did tell Todd that he should get a cold plunge.
Because everybody's doing it, or you like cold plunge?
Well, it's hot here.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't quite understand the hot tub angle. Like maybe in the winter at night when it gets a bit cooler at night, sure. But like, I don't know, man. I think a cold plunge is a smart idea.
You get soft down there.
Yeah, maybe.
You just get soft. And then at night on the ocean there in Santa Monica, it can get chilly in February.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe that's, but I mean, right, like this last 8 days, I'm like, God, it would have been, to have a cold plunge to just go in. Because
hey, why don't you get them one? That'd be a nice
gift. I thought about it. No, but I should, it's the type of house.
Yeah.
And they're organized in such a way. You're like, I was going to buy them a shoe scraper when you come in.
Oh, yeah.
To scrape off stuff of your shoes because they got these trees that drop berries, which are annoying and they stick to your shoe. Anyway, so then you track it into their house. But I was like, I'm not going to.
It's too personal. You're right. You don't want to.
I'm like, maybe they don't.
No.
First of all, they're intelligent, so they would have thought of this. So why don't they already have it?
Yeah.
There must be a reason.
Yeah, that's true. They are intelligent. Yeah.
Can I tell you something that's a little upsetting?
Go ahead.
So yesterday we took the dogs out for a walk in the morning, and it was about 8:30, and we discovered a crow stuck between a fence and a gate fence that moves. A little Hazel was like, "What's this?" And it was a little crow. And I was like, oh no. So I said to Christina, the crow was still alive. I was like, I got to help this crow. So I went back, got the crow out of the fence.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder how he's. I feel like he was there for a whole day because I feel like I saw something in the fence yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
But I wasn't clear. Like, like, it's a garbage bag or something. The bird was, was resistant, but I got the bird out and took the crow. By the way, crow feathers are very soft.
You touched the crow.
Well, I had gloves, but the wings were on because he was kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
So I got him on the thing, and I was like, I thought he's probably not going to be able to fly right away because if he's been there for 24 hours, he's probably exhausted, sitting in the sun baking. So I went in, I got him some water. I got a bit. I got water first, just let them eat because he was probably stressed, so I didn't want to feed him anything. Drank some water, and then he kind of wallowed around. He fell on his face. I was like, oh boy,
he fell on his face.
Looked at his wing. Yeah, I was like, he's exhausted, so I'll just leave him here. Put him in the shade.
Yeah,
and I'll come back. And came back, and he'd moved around, but it was kind of like lying down again. And I was like, I brought the water closer to him and drank some more water. But this time I gave him a little bit of food.
Yeah.
And he was eating it. And I was like, okay.
What kind of food did you give him?
I crunched up some peanuts and some almonds in my mouth and put it down. And then,
like a
I
mama
also got
bird.
little bits of, yeah. And I also got some little mango. And then I also got a little bit of bread. And then all these crows came around. Like 5 of them. I was like, I wonder if they're going to eat their friend. But I realized crows aren't. Crows are smart. They were like, our friend's not well. What's this guy doing around?
No, there was no part of you that thought, I need to feed them too now.
Well, I think that they probably came down and ate some of his food, maybe. Because when I went away and came back, there was less food there. So I put more food there on the crow. But the crow started to perk up. Like he was eating. And I was like, okay. And he was moving around, but he couldn't fly. I was like, I think in his wing, and he would kind of fall weird. I was like, oh boy, maybe his wings hurt, but maybe he's just tired. Maybe he just needs some time to recover.
Yeah.
So then later in the day, I came back and he was still there. And I was like, you know what? I'll phone animal control. Maybe he needs, some rehabilitation or whatever. And they're like, yeah, we can send someone, but then no one came. So this has been 3 hours of my time now trying to save this crow.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this crow because he was showing signs. I got this. Kept drinking water, ate some more food, drank some water, rested, got up, drank some more. Like he was trying.
Yeah.
And so eventually they said, can you just bring the crow here? And I'm like, yeah, I can bring the crow there. So I finally captured the crow.
By this time, have you named the crow?
No, I didn't want to get there.
Right.
So I did ask Kayla, though. I did say, hey, Kayla, do you want a pet crow? Because crows are cool. They're smart. They remember you. They remember faces. They were like,
I was going to ask, do Todd and Kayla have a new pet crow? What a gift. I
was like, I said, I'll buy the bird cage. And like, you guys can rehabilitate this crow and you'll have a crow and then he'll live with you. Right? And she was like, don't even joke. She goes, you should probably take it to animal control. So I was like, I guess you're right. So I phoned them up and I explained. And then I take it there. Me and Christina go and we take the dog to animal control, which is, there's dogs there barking. And I take them and they're like, we're there for a few minutes. And then I'm like, so how'd it go? Yeah, they're going to have to euthanize it. Damn. And I was like, what? Yeah, they tried to get it to fly. It's not flying. Its wing is probably broken. We don't have the time, the capabilities to rehabilitate a crow. And I was like, God, if only I just give it another, I guess obviously the wing is broken. They know better than I know, right? So what does a crow do with a broken wing? But I thought, what if the crow, maybe I gave it another day of taking care of it. Maybe it somehow miraculously is able to fly.
I would have just as soon as, given it another day. When do you leave? In a couple days?
Yeah. Tomorrow.
So, one more day. And then just isn't it better that nature take its course?
Well, I guess. But then, what if it wandered onto the road and only gets half run over and is still alive for so all these sorts, or maybe a coyote comes and tears its head off or whatever. But anyway, so I was like, they could have lied to me.
Oh.
Christina instantly burst into tears.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because Crowy,
and I was,
I've
yeah,
named him
yeah,
it,
for me.
Crowy.
And they're like, don't let it ruin your day. Then why didn't you lie to me and say that there's the bird lady? There's a woman down the street.
She takes all
She
of the. She has a
loves
ranch
all the
up
birds.
in the
Yeah.
hills, Mulholland.
Calabasas.
It's a bird sanctuary, and Crowy is
Mhm.
going to have a long, long life.
They do live a long time. The thing is, this crows can live like 30, 40 years.
No, you're not allowed to visit the bird lady. She's very private. But trust us,
Yeah.
Crowy will live a
Yeah.
long, happy life.
So in my head, I'm like upset. Well, I'm not in my head. My whole body's upset because I spent time with this crow. I wanted this crow to, like, I'm helping him. He's we're making, anyway. So I'm like, they could have lied to me. And then I would have been like, great, I saved a crow today. Instead, I helped accelerate its death.
Yeah.
The other part of me is like, I feel like I want to write a letter.
Oh, to whom?
And be like, to the animal control, and go, guys, there is a good time to lie.
Bird lady. Mysterious bird lady that you can't visit. Read the room.
Like, just like lie to us. Yes, you know what? The bird, we're a little bit worried about its wing, but we know where to take it. We know there's a bird sanctuary. It's going to be great. There's other crows there.
They've all got these tiny crutches. They love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
I'm still sad.
You walked away from the animal shelter people. And what was that like driving home?
Well, I said, Christina's was still crying. And then Christina started crying about how, like, what about all the dogs that we saw? Should we take the dogs?
Did you adopt another dog?
No. But, I woke up this morning. I was like, that wasn't very nice of me. Like, here's the point is like, it's just down the street where it was. I could have brought it back here. We could have hung out for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I could have gave it a bit of hope, and then taken it to the shelter.
You got to give them hope.
But
Harvey Milk said that.
Anyway, so I haven't quite recovered from accelerating the non-existence of a crow.
That's a bummer. I was just thinking the other day, because we're in Vancouver now and there's a ton of crows. I was thinking, like, where's my dad's gun so I could take care of these juvenile crows that never shut up? The squawking, endless. So we were having same but different experiences with crows.
And this is where rivalries develop. You can't embrace the noise of a murder of crows.
It wasn't a murder. It was one child crow.
Well,
following its parent, screaming for food. Look, it brings back memories, okay?
Imagine how annoying your children are.
I agree. That's why I'm saying our experiences are different.
I thought it would have been cool. You have a pet crow, they're smart, you train it, even if it can't fly anymore. Then next thing you know, you film it on Instagram and you got this pet crow that can talk to you by hitting buttons. Get me more worms, like whatever.
Did you think about how to bring a pet crow across a border?
I did think about it. I was like, we could have smuggled it, maybe.
American crow.
But yeah,
an American crow in Canada. An American crow in London, in Vancouver. With Rizzo and the Crow. Yeah.
Anyway, I guess the point I'm trying to make after all of that is sometimes lying is good.
Let's bring it back to friends. When have you lied to me?
I can't think of a specific time. But I do lie to you.
Yeah. I thank you
I
for that.
do nothing major, but I do lie to you. There's no doubt about it.
Honesty
Like I
is but one policy.
overrated.
It's not all. It's
Yeah.
not all the policies.
I think the truth is most people don't want actual honesty. I believe,
No.
no one really like no one really wants to know,
You're walking down the street. Hey, how's it going? And the person stops.
Mhm.
You got a beat on, but the person is one of those who are like, well, if I'm honest, like, no, don't be honest. I'm still walking, Patty.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Patty.
Exactly. You just want to, things are great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no one wants full honesty, and that's why lying is
I
important.
got another example, and this one's on me. I had two acquaintances in Toronto. The way they would say goodbye is, let's go for a beer sometime. And I didn't understand that. I thought,
Right.
so I'd be like, great. Well, when? Should we put it in the calendar? Because I would love to go for a beer with them.
Right.
And they were always humming and hawing. And so finally I said to one of them, when he said, let's go for a beer sometime, I said, you never want to go for a beer with me. You just always say that. And I should have just been like, that's just what he says to say goodbye, to create a fellow feeling, to wrap things up. It's called a communication style, and I was clueless.
Yeah. And you know what? I would say that, when people say, what's it like working with JB? I would say, he's not a loser. He's a quitter and not a winner, and doesn't know how to communicate with people.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. I do.
And that's what I look for in a friend.
I do. I mean, I think I know how to communicate. It's just sometimes it's in a way that other people don't like.
Yeah. I think you and I get along because we're both like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I engage with people sometimes in such a way that people are like, it sounds like I'm being a dick, but I'm really just trying to articulate exactly my point of view or what I'm trying to communicate to that person in such a way that they get it. Then it comes off like condescending or aggressive.
But you're also very friendly to strangers, which I can't.
Which is problematic.
Do.
Exactly. You would get irritated with me.
But
I mean, I spent half an hour last night talking to a guy who Rolfs. And he was sad. He was a sad man drinking by himself, and he's a Rolfer.
Oh, at the bourbon bar.
Yeah.
I mean, what you walk into a bar alone, you're
gonna meet.
You want pizza, you go to a pizzeria.
It was great. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I like meeting, but what I'm trying to say is if you were there with me, you'd be like, would you stop talking to this man?
Look, don't get me wrong. I like it weird. And so I go on about social interaction with strangers, not necessarily because we're going to be best friends, but because they have something odd to say. I do like that. But the way you interact with strangers is more like you create congeniality with strangers. So like that time in the No Frills near my house in the Junction, where you had the cashier, somehow you had the cashier complimenting me on my handsomeness. And then the cashier at the liquor store this past time, you had them voting for you, even though you weren't running for mayor. Whereas I'm more like, tell me about the sun you don't see anymore. Like, I just love that. I love it when it goes deep fast.
How did your son die?
I love that. Oh my God, you only have one lung. But
Yeah, tell me more.
but you do this thing that's more energetic, and you leave the person feeling good, and I leave them crying.
Well, weeping. Well, I mean, hey, look, all of these skill sets are valuable one day. We'll figure it out. Whether it's a podcast or whether it's a TV show, somehow, some way, like On the Road Again, or Still Standing. Like, who was it? Was it you? I don't know. Someone I was having a conversation with. I'm overly curious.
You're very curious.
And
Yeah. You want to figure out
right.
how they're doing that thing. What's
Yeah.
going on over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you tap into that? Like, I mean, I'm so sad, again, to go back to sadness this podcast, that Anthony Bourdain isn't with us.
Yeah.
I love Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Like, we need another one of those shows.
Yeah.
We need lots of those shows, actually. We need different types of personalities of going out and going to communities and
Yeah.
all over the world and meeting. And I found it so fascinating when he would go but I remember there was one in Colombia. He went to Colombia and was eating like traditional, like low-income Colombian food. And, like it was is it Bogota or Bogota?
Bogota.
And I was like, and it was like such a, like, because he didn't, I can't remember, but what I remembered was that type of food, not the high-end dining experience.
No.
Like him talking to, people that are living on the fringes.
And I thought he was best when, I think he was in Montevideo and he really got into the politics of it.
Yeah.
I liked him showing his socialist roots or his socialism. And he would talk about like what was good for the people and and that happened more and more, I think, on his last show on CNN. He really got into it. In the beginning, it was a more like the American bravado of Anthony Bourdain. Him in his bootcut jeans and his cowboy boots. And I liked it better when it was less spectacle of him eating weird stuff and more of him connecting with people all over the world. He was really good at that.
I agree.
So I was talking to Dylan, and he said, and I pitched him.
Oh, did you have drinks with Dylan before he went?
Yeah, I pitched him. He pitched me like a show on OnlyFans that I wrote. He reminded me of that call center, call girls script. And I can't find it.
But this is like 15 years ago. Like you were ahead of your time yet again.
Yeah, I was ahead of exactly. I mean, that's really why I brought it up. But then I pitched him On the Road Again with you, and he was like, something is already being done like that online. He's way more online than I am. And the same with home cooks. He was like, there's a guy that brings strangers in and cooks for them. So I was like, oh, forget it then. But then I thought, no, that's the market proving that we can do our own spin on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say, like, just like
the problem is that he looks for properties to pitch to terrestrial or to streamers. Whereas I'm thinking, well, that it just feels like if I want to do the show I want to do, I'm going to have to once again do it all myself and put it online.
I think that's the way it is. I honestly do. And because I was just talking to Damien Kindler, I went for lunch with him. What a fine guy. He bought me a loaf of bread to take home. Who does this?
You were at a place having lunch, and you were at a bakery. And did he?
Yeah, but it's called.
Did he pay
Superba? Yeah.
Oh, I've been to Superba, right on Lincoln there. Yeah, that's a nice spot. Yeah, so he paid for lunch, and he bought you a loaf of bread, as he should.
Half a loaf.
It was a demi loaf, of course, as he should, because he's the Hollywood bigwig.
Well, he and I were talking about, like, state of affairs and the
Mhm.
the world that we live in. And he's like, you really do, like, now more than ever, you really do have to, if you've got something you want to make and you pitching it to that sort of ecosystem, it's very difficult for
Mhm.
anyone to see anything other than the most basic of setups. We got Ryan Gosling. He's a spy, and whatever. He falls in love with like, it can't be too complex. And he was saying any idea you have that might be, you know, I guess high concept. I never know low concept. I never know what way to use that. But anything that's a bit bigger than a real simple like Christmas movie, he goes that you won't get anywhere because they have to pitch that to the whole team, and they're none of these people are creative. They don't under. This is how he said it, which I thought was really smart. There's a bunch of people high up in these positions that make decisions and say yes, no, maybe so, whatever, that don't actually understand how the sausage is made. Like they don't know if this is your idea, they have no idea what has to happen to get to this idea, right? They have no clue. They're just like, well, what is it? What's this? But we need to get some ingredients. We need some time to flesh it out. This idea is more than, we can't just shoot a pilot. We got to shoot 6 episodes because this is how people will get drawn in or whatever. He says it's impossible.
Add to that the Hollywood is cratering, the Hollywood as we know it. And it's just terrible. But the other thing is that there aren't any other solutions. You said yourself that you can no longer monetize YouTube effectively.
It's very hard, yeah.
So are we reduced to just passion projects?
Well, I think no. Let's take the comedy department as an example of like, well, you just have to, and it's not a great example because we're not quite there yet, but like, let's say we want to do our own version of On the Road Again, right? My brain would be like, well, how do we do that? Well, I guess what we would do is we could film it ourselves pretty cheap, but we'd want to do a live performance in association with it. And then we'd sell tickets to it. You would come see a comedy show, whatever. It could just literally be my pure nonsense show and other performers could be there or not be there. We get together, we get the community together. I talk, make fun of it, tease it, celebrate, make up songs on the spot. We film that, but now we also have a live show that we're touring. So, and then we go to smaller communities in BC or wherever, and you do that for a while, and maybe you make a bit of money off of the selling of live tickets, and then you're filming it. So then you're releasing that on YouTube or whatever, which you're not going to make a lot, but that's how you can spread the word. Maybe you live stream it, and then you're live streaming it, and then people are like, I want you to come to my community. And,
Let's do it. I mean, sounds long and exhausting.
But what else are we going to do?
Well, I am about to have a job. So that is
let me
what
take
else
it to the next
I'm
level.
gonna do.
No, get ready for this.
Okay, here we go.
So we're doing On the Road Again. It's comedy for your town and learning about your town and all that sort of stuff, and therapy for your town.
Okay. I'll have to check the ethics behind that because I don't
therapy your town.
I don't want to be disbarred before I begin. Therapy.
You're going to go. No, but it's about the town. It's about the town.
I love it. But there are things like consent and confidentiality. But maybe you get them to sign a waiver and you're fine.
So part of the show is all right, and now let's do some therapy. Who like what's
Live
happening
therapy.
with the?
I have seen that. I saw something like that in Toronto, and I thought, what a great idea. It wasn't. What was really interesting is the audience member that came up knew that this type of show was going on, came up and performed being sad. Even squirted out some fake tears, which is, of course, a thing that people will do in therapy, in a one-on-one session. Like everything is possible, but it really took away from the experience. So You would have to really screen for someone who will just be up there and be their authentic selves. But that is a thing. That is that's a good idea.
Yeah, we should, it'd be kind of fun.
Therapy, your town.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're going to go. And like laughter's the best medicine, right?
Oh my God.
That's what they say.
Is,
so we're going to do some therapy, and then we're going to have some fun with it afterwards.
Therapy, your town. Laughter's the best medicine, and you don't have to feel alone. Other people are struggling too.
Yeah.
It might
Let's
even
get
increase,
together in a room and
like I might get more clients from this for my actual paying. Milky, that's terrific.
Let's do a 6-show tour in the Lower Mainland. We'll do Delta. We'll do like Port Moody, Chilliwack, Abbotsford, if we can find the right place.
I love
White Rock.
You know what? I was driving up on Friday I don't know the days, to Hatzick Lake, and the freeway was so bad that the map routed me side streets all through Langley, Surrey,
Yeah,
Mission.
I know.
Dude, it was incredible. Plus, we were in a car without any AC, so we were in the trees. We weren't on the treeless, blazing hot freeway. It was so beautiful.
I know. I did that once on the way to Michael's too, and I was like, "Oh, you forget how incredible all these little they're not little anymore, but all these other cities are."
It was glorious.
Well, JB, I gotta go.
You gotta go. Good talking to you.
And very good. And we're going to assess the Hood River possibility. So one question about that is, like, if we were coming through that way, where would we be? Like, should we be getting our own hotel there? Or have you rented an Airbnb and there's an extra room? Like, what is?
I haven't rented an Airbnb, but let me ask my brother. So we'll be staying with my brother and sister-in-law.
Okay.
But maybe, are you guys opposed to camping one night? Because there's an extra tent.
Well, no, if that's the case, if we do, we'll probably just get a hotel room.
Okay, because you could tent on their lawn, and then you can use the bathroom in the kitchen and blah blah blah. But if you don't want to do that, then let me look in. I'll ask my brother. What do you think the chances are, and what day do you think it might be?
I would say it's 50-50.
Okay, great.
And it would have to be the 9th. But what's going to determine that is Christina and I are discussing today. Do we want to go up the coast? Do we want to go up the interior?
Right.
And then we have to be back on the 10th, by like 9 p.m. ish or something, because she wants a whole day to herself on the 11th in the house before she gets back to work. So, and there were a couple things I wanted to see. I want to kind of go to the Sequoias.
Yeah.
I want to do I would love to do that. And I want to go see, I was like, maybe we should go to Lake Tahoe, but also we could go up the coast because it's summer and driving up the coast is incredible. It's just that it's longer.
It's much longer.
We couldn't do the whole. Like, what's nice about it is you scooch to the interior, you go see the coast, come back down, bam, bomb up the I-5, and then scooch in.
Yeah.
Scooch back and bam.
Yeah, you're bombing and you're scooching. And if you bombed and scooched into Hood River, we don't get to Portland until 3:30, and we're taking the train. So God knows. Trains aren't normally on time. Then it's a 45-minute drive from the train station or more to Hood River, depending on traffic. Mm-hmm. So we won't be until 5 o'clock on the 9th anyways. That's Sunday.
But if we're up that way and that just becomes one of our stops for a night over, we're going to have to sleep at some point.
Yeah. If
it makes sense, we'll just do it potentially. If that's where we're going, we'll do it there, and we can have a whatever, a cocktail,
some tacos,
whatever. Yeah.
That would be really fun. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed.